Whether you like this or not, it is cold hard facts. NBA teams were scared to draft Emoni Bates because of multiple different reasons. You know, I got my cold hard facts ready, so let me present them. Alright man, no intro, none of that. I don't got time for that. I don't got time to waste, you don't got time to waste. And I'm not giving you an introduction on Emoni Bates, you should know who he is. Growing up, he was labeled as the chosen one, the prodigy, and he was also supposed to be the next Kevin Durant, and yeah, we've seen how that's played out so far. If you haven't seen how it's played out, I'll leave it at this, and we'll talk about this in just a second. Not so good. Been following up with this young man ever since he was in high school, and at one point in time, he was ranked as the #1 player in his class for like 4 to 5 straight years. He was dominating, and like I said, he's the second player to be labeled as a chosen one outside of LeBron James. And I hate to say they jinxed him because we don't know how his career is going to play out quite just yet, but at this point in time, it does look like they jinxed him. Regardless of that, the NBA draft concluded a few days ago, and if you've been keeping up with the videos and been watching most of them, you would know we already talked about Emoni Bates. In this video right here, I'll pop it up on the screen, he was one of the 2 players we talked about how they cost themselves tens of millions of dollars. The other player in that video is G.G. Jackson, aka also a former #1 recruit in the country. Both of them found the draft. We talked all about it. If you want to see that video, go check it out. Well, after I made that video, I thought we were done talking about Emoni Bates. I didn't plan on talking about him anymore, and that was up until the past couple of days. I know what you're sitting there saying, yo Matt, what has happened in the past couple of days? And that's a great question. I have an even better answer. Everywhere I go, it doesn't matter if it's on Twitter, Instagram, TikTok, and I've seen multiple YouTube videos stating that Emoni Bates was the biggest steal in the NBA draft. I've had so many people send me links to videos. I've had so many people tag me and stuff on Twitter and Instagram saying that. But to go on top of that, to make all this even better, I've seen so many people, probably at least 15 to 20 videos, tweets, stuff on Instagram, people saying, man, I can't believe Emoni Bates fell this far in the draft. Why did he fall so far? And I guess the reason all these casuals are saying that is because they haven't kept up with him as long as I have. If you've been a day one and OG of the channel, you would know we've been talking about him ever since he was in 8th or 9th grade. So I would like to put myself on a pedestal when it comes to my knowledge on Mr. Emoni Bates. And it's gotten to the point where I'm sick of this. I'm going to speak up on it. I'm going to give my 2 cents. And whether you like this or not, it is cold hard facts. NBA teams were scared to draft Emoni Bates because of multiple different reasons. And you want to know something, guys? It's not some top secret information. Anybody that's not a casual, anybody that knows the game, anybody that's played the game, you know this is true. What am I talking about? I know some of y'all have no idea. Let's just get straight into it. Number 1, I want to start out by saying this. I like Emoni Bates. I think he's one of the most talented players that was in this NBA draft. I've always thought he was one of the most talented players in the country growing up, and he was arguably the best player in the country. I'm not going to sit up here and hype him up. You know he's talented. The best comparison I can give you is the one everybody did, and that's Kevin Durant. 6'9", pretty athletic, and can also shoot the lights out. What made him so good is simple. It's not overcomplicate this. He was 6'9", could shoot with the best of them, and he was exceptionally talented and skilled. You don't need to overcomplicate basketball. That's it. I hate all these nerds on ESPN when they try to sound smart and do this and blah, 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 blah. No, it's simple. You're either good or you're not. Is there levels to good and bad? Yes, you got your average players, your slightly below average, your slightly above average, good, great, elite, and then legends. We're not going to get into all that, though, not in this video. I hate to be the bearer of bad news, but y'all want to know something? Talent doesn't always equate to winning basketball. With that being said, you probably know where I'm about to go with this. Emoni Bates doesn't play winning basketball. He didn't play it in high school. He didn't play it at the collegiate level. He didn't play it at Memphis. Didn't play it at Eastern Michigan. So why is an NBA team what I believe that he's going to play winning basketball at the next level? And I already know some people are going to say, well, Matt, what do you mean he didn't play winning basketball? What does that even mean? It's a fair question. It's actually a great question. I'd love to answer it. Winning basketball doesn't mean going out there and dropping 50 points and being a superstar. That's not winning basketball. I'll give you a great example. Did you notice in the NBA Finals when Jokic had his highest scoring games? That's when the Nuggets played their worst. I'm going to say that again. When Jokic had his highest scoring games and he was dropping 35, 40, 45 points, the Nuggets weren't winning games. It wasn't just like that in the NBA Finals. It was like that all throughout the playoffs and all throughout the season. Jokic going out there scoring 50 points and only having 7 assists, 12 rebounds, that's not winning basketball. On the contrary, notice when Jokic went out there and had 25, 30 points and 14 assists and 15 rebounds, the Nuggets always won. Why is that though? And it's because when you're moving the ball around, everybody's happy, everybody's getting their shots, they're going to play better on defense. And also when you're moving the ball around and not scoring all the points yourself, the defense has to worry about everybody on the court. Vice versa, when Jokic, they forced him to be the superstar and score all the points, you can kind of lock in on him and take everybody else out of the game. And although, yeah, you're going to sacrifice a 50-point game or a 40-point game to Jokic, you should be able to survive that. But here's what you can't survive. Jokic going off for 25. Murray going off for 30, Porter Jr. going off for 30, and Aaron Gordon going off for 25 or 30. You can't survive that because that equals up to over 100 or close to it. But if Jokic just has 45 and then, Murray gives you 10 or 15, Gordon gives you 5, and Porter gives you 7, oh yeah, you can survive that. And that right there, ladies and gentlemen, I know it was a lot to take in, but it's the problem with Emoni Bates. It's why teams are scared of him, because he doesn't play winning basketball. I really can't dumb it down any more than that. If Emoni Bates is on your team, the defense doesn't have to worry about anybody else. When Emoni Bates touches the ball, nobody else is going to touch it. He looks to score. He's a scorer. That's all he does. It doesn't matter if 2 people are on him and a third one's coming. He's shooting that thing, driving or taking a shot or doing something. I saw it in high school, I saw it in Memphis, and I saw it at Eastern Michigan. And the weird part about this is that would have worked in the NBA 20 years ago. Emoni Bates has a similar play style to Kobe Bryant. And yeah, it worked for Kobe Bryant 10 to 15 years ago, but nowadays you can't play that way in the NBA. It's just not going to happen. I'll give you some more examples. Look at Devin Booker in that highest scoring game. Didn't they lose? Same thing with Damian Lillard. Damian Lillard's out here dropping 40, 50 points a game, and in all of his highest scoring efforts, they're always losing. Scoring a lot of points isn't winning basketball, and that's hard for a lot of people to wrap their brain and mind around. Because after your middle school, high school games, or even your college game, what does your girlfriend, your mom and dad, your boys say, everybody at school say? Hey man, how many points you score? That's all everybody says. I remember after my basketball games, that'd be the first thing my girlfriend would text me. She'd say, did y'all win and how many points did you score? Nobody ever asks you, hey, did you have a good passing day? Were your passes good? Did you move the ball around a lot? How many assists did you have? How many rebounds? How many steals did you force in the game? How many plays did you make where you're diving on the ground for a loose ball? Nobody ever asks that. It's how many points. Only casuals that have never played the game of basketball at a high level think points. It's the only thing that matters. Anybody that has actually played at a high level understands there's more to the game than scoring points. Now don't get it twisted. I'm not saying just because you go out there and drop 30 points, you're not playing winning basketball. You can do both, but my point is in this video, Emoni Bates does not do both. And for that reason, teams are scared of him. One of his biggest knocks that nobody talks about is when he's not scoring, he's not playing defense either. Can he play defense? Yes, but he's a guy and he's a player where his defense relies on how good he's playing on offense. And that's scary because you can't always count on your offense, but you can always count on your defense. So to everybody out here claiming that Emoni Bates was a steal at 49, no, he's not a steal. He got drafted where he should have been drafted. He's not going to help an NBA team win games. Sure, he may come off the bench and score 15 points, but what else is he going to do for the team? Nothing. I'll sit up here all day long and praise his scoring abilities. He can score with the best of them. That is not my concern, and that was none of the concerns that all these NBA teams had with Emoni. The concern is, okay, yes, he can score, but what else can he do? Think about it. What else can Emoni Bates do? Nothing. And to go on top of that, there's a lot of concerns about his mindset and the people around him. He had that terrible year at Memphis. I'm not going to rag on him too much. Y'all know how it went. And then after playing at Memphis, he decided to go to one of the worst programs in the country. He decided to go to Eastern Michigan. For those of you that don't know, Eastern Michigan is one of the worst basketball teams in college basketball. That right there alone is kind of concerning that you want to play for one of the worst teams in the country just so you can get your shots up. And to all the people that want to debunk me saying this, well, here's the thing. You don't have facts and evidence to go with your claims, and I do. You know, I got my cold hard facts ready, so let me present them. I watched every single game he played for Memphis. Even when he wasn't playing, he had that, he missed 5, 6, 7 day stretch. I watched every single game of Memphis's. Memphis's, is that a word? Not really. We're going to roll with it. And here's the funny part about this. It actually got so bad that Penny Hardaway benched Emoni Bates and couldn't play him because he wasn't playing winning basketball. There were so many times when he was playing for Memphis, when he was in the game, they'd go down 10 to 20 points. They'd take him out and they'd cut it back to 3 to 5. He didn't play winning basketball, and it's hard for people to understand it. I get it because he's a rare talent, but that doesn't equate to winning. And guess what, guys? He goes to Eastern Michigan and they went 8-21. I'm going to say that again. 8-21. Do what you want with all that information. Do what you want. Let me know your thoughts down below. But roll